So the World Economic Forum conference in Davos is finally over. There was a lot of crazy ideas and policy programs being proposed by the globalist control freak. But in this video, we're going to bring you some of the most terrifying quotes and ideas actually mentioned by Klaus Schwab himself. So let's start with the first one. As usual, Klaus Schwab is obsessed with microchips and this and that to kind of implement into your brain or into your cells. He said it himself. It's about shifting our lives into a futuristic utopia, which in reality is very, very dystopian.
Advancing very fast. But can you imagine that in 10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains, and I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants, and we measure your brain waves, and I can immediately tell you how the people react, or I can feel how the people react to your answers. Is it imaginable?
I think that is imaginable. I think I think, you know, you can imagine that. You can imagine, well, you're going to be sort of transplanted into, you know, the internet, so to speak, to live forever in a digital realm. You know, you can imagine that, you know, you just in your biological incarnation are going to live to be some, you know, very long age.
I mean, putting aside the fact that the whole thing is just a crazy idea, the fact that you're obsessed with that is kind of weird. That's not the only problem. Every time people like Klaus Schwab mention these ideas, or Bill Gates, they always use the words we. Oh, imagine if we can do this to you, if we can monitor you, if we. Why is it always we, as in those guys? Now, this second part is even weirder. Again, not really surprising, but still shocking. So, this is about the fact that the Klaus Schwab says we could create a system where you won't even need democratic elections in the future anymore, because we can predict how you're going to be thinking and feeling.
And digital technologies mainly have an analytical power. Now we go into a predictive power, and we have seen the first examples, and your company very much involved into it. But then the next step could be to go into a prescriptive mode, which means you do not even have to have elections anymore, because you can already predict, and afterwards you can say, why do we need elections? Because we know what the result will be.
Again, for the second, forget about the fact that the whole thing is just stupid and it shouldn't happen, because why should we put so much, put them in so much control over our lives? That's not the main problem. The problem is, do these people not understand humanity? Do they not understand basic psychology? Even right now, based on basic media influence and opinion polls and all this nonsense, people will still change their mind last minute when it comes to the actual elections. You can't really predict how people are going to vote. Oh, and my favorite part, which is the anti-system movement. They are freaking out about what we are doing. Channels like Tousi TV, grassroots campaigns across the world becoming more patriotic, nationalist, pro-individual liberty. And Klaus Schwab made a speech about how this anti-system movement, which he calls, rightly so, libertarianism. And as a libertarian, I take it as a badge of honor. He doesn't like it. He knows that we are coming for them. He knows that we could be winning. That's why he's sending a warning.
You have this anti-system movement. What we are seeing is a revolution against the system. So fixing the present system is not enough. Now there is, of course, an anti-system which is called libertarianism, which means to tear down everything which creates some kind of influence of government into private lives. It's dismantling the system.
Now, of course, this speech was from before anyway, but it's important to add it to the collection, because those who are so pessimistic about the future, those who are going with the doom and gloom, thinking that people like Klaus Schwab or George Soros are so powerful that they are basically winning, they're in control, there's nothing we can do about it, you're wrong. There is something we can do. The fight back is starting, even they have noticed. Now, it's not going to be an easy fight, but you cannot give up. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.